What's this?
What's this?
It's a podcast. And welcome back to the Retro Review. I am your host, the Bearded Geek. Joining me as always is Mikey the Freak.
What's up?
And the dude. Today we're going to be reviewing the movie The Nightmare Before
My
Christmas.
Jack Skeleton impression.
Yeah, there you go. Before we get into it, let's check out that trailer, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Here
Please.
we go.
Oh.
Welcome to an extraordinary world filled with magic and wonder.
There's so
Visually,
many
this was-
Your
renditions.
mind
Yeah, visually this was
and
beautiful.
let yourself
I
go
will say that.
to a place where
Oogie
every
boogie.
day is Halloween.
Great
And every
claymation.
night, Jack
Yeah.
Skellington
By Tim Burton.
The Pumpkin King!
dreams of something different.
What is this?
A podcast. I've already said that.
He did say, "What is this?"
What's this? What's this? There's color everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air. What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, Jack. This isn't fair. What is this? Haven't you heard of peace on earth and goodwill toward men?
No.
Touchstone Pictures presents the enchanting story of two very special dreamers and the holiday spirit that brought them together. From the imagination of Tim Burton comes The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Big imagination.
And what did Santa bring you, honey?
Yeah.
The head from Beetlejuice.
Fun fact: Tim Burton did not actually direct this movie.
That is
Nope,
true.
he did not.
That is true. That is very true. Mikey the Freak, why don't you tell us a little bit more about this movie?
Yes,
Yeah.
let's.
So Jack Skeleton, the king of Halloween Town,
Mhm.
discovers Christmas Town. But his attempts to bring Christmas to his home causes confusion. So Jack Skeleton discovers Christmas Town, wants to become Santa Claus or Santy Claus. Sandy Claus?
Sandy Claus.
Sandy
yeah.
Claus. So confusing. So they attempt, lock, stock, and barrel attempts to kidnap Santa Claus and bring him over to Halloween Town so Jack Skeleton can take over and be Santa Claus. That's
Basically.
the premise behind the entire movie, I think.
So what was your first impression of this movie?
I enjoyed the movie. I wasn't a huge fan of claymation back in the 90s because to me, I thought it was just different. I didn't really watch it much in the 90s. So it definitely was different, but it had a huge following in the mid 90s. And I think a lot of that had to do with Tim Burton just because of Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice. And there's a lot of characters and actors and actresses that came from Beetlejuice that's actually in this movie as well as voice actors.
Mikey,
What were you going to say now?
That's twice. You can't.
What?
You can't say it a third time. You can't.
Oh, I
meddle
get
with
you.
that. You
Yeah.
can't. meddle with
I'm like,
that.
what? Like what? So it's one of those movies where he kind of reuses a lot of his actors and a lot of his characters. And I thought it was funny if you kind of look in, like, one of the monsters looks like the sandworm from Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And then it looks like Pugsley, the Addams Family, the little kid. I thought that was kind of funny. So I think they're callbacks to his older movies. I don't know if that was the intention, but I thought that was kind of cool. But no, again, claymation wasn't as involved for me back then, so I did think it was a weird type movie to watch. But a big cult following in the 90s, I thought it was. I think it was a very interesting movie.
With
The
Pugsley,
dude,
do you think that was like a 30-year flash forward for Wednesday?
no, for Addams Family? The original Addams Family?
Oh, I get it. Because he did Wednesday on Netflix.
Oh no.
Stop typing on your desk, please. Whoever's doing it is driving me nuts. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't try and blame it on me. I don't even have a pen down here. Look, there's no pen. It's
There's
just
a pencil.
my desk.
The dude. What was your first impressions of this movie?
What you think, man?
I love this movie, man. I saw this movie when it came out in the theater with my parents.
He was 8.
Oh man, I love musicals, man. No, this movie's great.
We know.
I love it. It's got a great cast: Danny Elfman, Catherine O'Hara, Paul Rubens, like
Yep.
Glenn Shaddix as the mayor. I'm just blanking on the dude's name. One of the guys from Whose Line Is It Anyways?
Greg Proops.
Yeah, Greg Proops. He's part of the cast members.
He's the Harlequin.
I've seen Danny Elfman perform this live with Paul Rubens, Catherine O'Hara. It's a lot of fun. This movie's just a great near and dear spot to my heart. Unlike these jackasses, I really enjoy it. And I think it's a really great flick. I recommend it to everybody, and it's a fun one for Halloween or Christmas or anytime. So
yeah, Bear to
This
Geek.
guy, what
Okay.
I want to
My
grab
first
that.
impressions, yeah. My first impression here, get grab. There you go. Okay. My first impressions of this movie was I couldn't get into it. Like I don't just couldn't get into it. I've never been able to get into this movie. I've never been able to get into
It's
this
a
movie.
claymation thing. I think it's because it's claymation, or maybe it's because it's a musical.
I don't know what it is. Like, I've never been able to. I understand the following. I get why people like this movie. It's not personal. It's a personal thing. It's not for me. But I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it, but it's not like something that I'd rewatch every year. Here's the question. Here's the question I want to pose to y'all. If you had gun to your head, is this a Halloween or Christmas movie?
It's Halloween.
Halloween movie.
Halloween.
Just making sure. Just making
It
sure.
starts in Halloween Town. It ends in Halloween Town.
Yes. Okay.
But
So
there's
there were
Christmas involved. We get it.
there were some fun parts in this movie. I enjoyed the children in this movie doing their thing when they stole the Easter bunny and had to return him.
You're just talking about Danny Elfman, Paul Rubens, and Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I enjoyed them.
Lock, Stock, and Barrel.
I actually enjoyed Oogie Boogie. Oogie Boogie was one of my favorite characters in this movie for some
Ken
reason.
Page.
Yeah.
He always goes to Comic-Con. We see him every year at Comic-Con. But we
original-
never get his autograph for Oogie Boogie.
The original Mistopheles from Cats.
Hmm.
I actually saw him play Old Max in a production of The Grinch That Stole Christmas.
All right. Well, that was my first impressions of this movie. Mikey the Freak, how would you actually rate this movie?
I'm probably gonna go close to a 7. Again, the claymation is off for me. I'm not a big claymation fan. I do understand the cult following from Halloween or Christmas. If you think it's a Christmas movie, it's not. It's a Halloween movie. But I think the characters, you can relate to some of the characters. You kind of have that liking with Sally. You kind of understand Jack Skellington. Again, I think the claymation's cool. Like the characters he developed and he made look pretty cool. But yeah, I'm a 7 across the board. The dude, what you think?
Oh, don't sell yourself short, dude. You're a 9 in my book. The dude, what would you rate this?
It's a 7. It's a 7. This is a movie. I don't even watch this movie. I love this movie. Don't get me wrong, but I watch this movie like every other year. Like if my wife has it on, my wife loves to watch this movie. She probably watches this movie more than I do. There are other movies.
It's not a tradition. A lot of people make this a
Yeah.
tradition every year for Halloween, and
Yeah, I mean, it's not
I'm
like
the
she
same
was
way, I don't.
watching it today or anything. So.
It's not like she definitely wasn't watching it right before we were recording, because she was.
I'm right with y'all. 7 is right where I'd like to be with this.
We just
It's-
hit the
it's-
spot. 7.
And I said it, and I did say 7
Jackpot.
across the board.
Good
7
job.
across the board. So I knew it. I knew it.
Money,
I would
money.
I would still
Red,
recommend this
white,
to
and
people.
blue.
Yeah.
Red, white, and blue. Sorry.
I would still recommend this to people because I do see the appeal for it. Like I said, it's just not one that I'm going to go to every year. But I do have some facts about this movie.
Are they
At
fun
around
facts?
they can be if you enjoy them. At around the 13-minute mark, it is stated in the making of book that the most difficult shot to film in the entire movie is the shot in which Jack is reaching for the doorknob to Christmas Land. Viewers can see the perfect surrounding reflection of the forest and Jack in the background. So I can see where that would be. Tim Burton has said the original poem was inspired after seeing Halloween merchandise display in a store being taken down and replaced by a Christmas display. So,
Yeah, because there is no Thanksgiving in retail world.
Right. Yeah. There is. Yeah. It drives me nuts. While Danny Elfman was chosen to voice Jack Skellington, it was felt that his singing was great, but his speaking voice was too wooden and stiff. So Chris Sarandon was then cast as Jack's speaking voice because he closely matched Elfman's singing voice. So there you go.
Yeah, sometimes you can't tell where Chris Sarandon is and where Danny Elfman is.
No,
They did a pretty good job.
It's pretty seamless. So there's your fun facts. What do we have for soundtrack, dude?
Ah, boy. We get the Nightmare Before Christmas opening. We get This Is Halloween. Jack's Lament.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
What's this?
Halloween.
Town meeting song. Sack and Jelly montage. Jack's Obsession. Kidnap the Santa Claus. Making Christmas. Oogie Boogie song. Sally song. Christmas Eve montage. Poor Jack.
Poor Jack.
Poor Jack. And then the finale / reprise.
All right. Well, what do we have for some related reels then, Mikey the Freak?
Wow. Let's see. I have got Chris Sarandon, of course, Jack Skellington in Fright Night, Child's Play, and of course our all-time favorite, The Princess Bride. Prince Humperdinck. Anyway, Catherine O'Hara in Beetlejuice, of course.
God.
No, there was enough space. There was enough space.
There was enough, yes. But I loved her in Beetlejuice.
Oh, no, that's right.
Schitt's Creek, if no one's ever watched Schitt's Creek, is an absolutely hilarious show. And then Best in Show, of course, with the whole tradition of the dogs.
Your husband who has 2 left feet. I mean, that's literally just how he was born. He has 2 left feet.
Yeah. And then William Hickey is in was in Jerky Boys.
Fucking Frank Rizzo over here. You fucking jerky boy.
I love Jerky Boys. It was so funny. Lewis in Christmas Vacation and My Blue Heaven.
The blessing.
The blessing.
The blessing.
I love him in that.
Grace,
great.
she died years ago.
Well, as we come to a close,
yeah.
Steve, where can people find you on your podcast?
Oh, the last podcast you want. Tim the Meal, Try the Staff. Thank you all for coming. And if you didn't, better luck next time.
Make sure you check out the sister channel of Back to the Retro Review, the Mod Squad, where we have a gamer show, a horror show, a movie show, and we go live every Saturday night with a
It's
giveaway.
right behind your head. It's It's right
Yeah.
there
Oh
behind
yeah,
your head.
right there, the Mod Squad. Yeah,
That's it, right there.
there we go. If you like what you've seen here, give us a good old thumbing. Hit that like, subscribe, leave us a comment, tell us what movie you would like us to review from the 80s and 90s. We would love to hear from you. All right. As we come to a close, I'm going to sign off for Mikey the Freak, the Dude. I am the Bearded Geek saying, thank you for being a friend, everybody.
See ya.
You